There is a place past the wheat fields of Kansas you'd never expect. What you can only find by a remote journey to the heartland of America. And when you get here to Hutchinson, only then do you truly know why this championship is here. A golf course of unique, raw, and rugged beauty. Built on sand dunes amid the prairie grasses which sway in the breezes of the plains. This is Prairie Dunes Country Club. Remote, largely unknown until this week, when the greatest championship in the world of women's golf arrived. And it's here in Hutchinson where Annika Sorenstam has regained the look of an Open champion. Has it really been 7 years since that shy 24-year-old burst on the scene en route to back-to-back titles? Back then, she said, she was too young to fully appreciate it. Now, she confidently strides toward perhaps the greatest year in women's golf, so dominating that her red shoes gained as much attention as her victory in the season's first major. Now, on the threshold of a third Open title, Annika Sorenstam can't wait to truly savor it. NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, final round coverage of the 57th U.S. Women's Open. It is a hot, humid championship Sunday in the sand dunes of South Central Kansas, where 65 years ago, famed golf architect Perry Maxwell followed the beautiful sweeping contours of this unique golfing landscape. 20 years later, his son Press laid out the final 9 holes. The result has remained nearly untouched in the decades that have followed. The folks here in Hutchinson have long known how special Prairie Dunes is, and after this week, the word is spread from this remote region after playing host to the most prestigious championship in all of women's golf. And the chase well underway on Sorenstam. Leading the way, 42-year-old veteran Juli Inkster, who began the day 2 back of Annika, hit just 8 greens in regulation yesterday, grinded it out to stay close, but early on seemed to regain her old iron form. The tee shot at the 147-yard par 3 second, lipped out a birdie at the first. So this time, Inkster with another birdie opportunity at the second. She makes this one to 1 under to get within 1 of Sorenstam. Then after 3 straight pars, with her third here just off the green at the par 4 6th. And that one tumbles in. Inkster grabs a little air and elevation there, pumps herself up. She's tied for the lead with Sorenstam at that point. Then on the very next hole, par 5 7, again just off the green, putting for birdie. And the outright lead, back-to-back birdies for Inkster, who eyes a second Open title at the age of 42. What a start for Inkster, who has just been an up-and-down scrambler most of this championship. The lead by 1 now over Sorenstam, who's done her typical fairway green 2-putt routine. All pars for Sorenstam as the lead is 1 as we go out to the 7th, and Gary Koch is out there at the par 5.
Annika Sorenstam with her second shot.
213 yards downwind, trying to bounce it in through a narrow opening, but she's left this ball right and short. Well short.
Not a bad spot, though. Front hole location, not the most difficult here at 7 by far. Has been the easiest hole on the golf course as we go up to 8.
Difficult par 4, the leader Inkster.
Most difficult hole on the golf course, toughest driving hole, toughest second shot. She's had trouble driving on this hole all week, has not hit the fairway, and she stripes it right down the middle.
And back to the par 5 7th.
Jill McGill ready with her second shot, Roger.
Only 199 yards left of the hole after a tremendous tee shot. Off to a shaky start today, bogeyed the first couple of holes, all pars from then. A little bit of a nervous start for her, Gary.
Not surprising, Roger. First time ever she has played in the final group on Sunday. So a little bit to be expected.
Well, no stranger to USGA championships, though, having won the women's amateur in '93 and the public links in '94.
All a little below her feet.
Hitting this ball low, trying to chase it.
She's done a good job, Roger.
That's a fine shot.
That will leave a very makeable putt for an eagle.
But it's Julie Inkster with 3 birdies in the first 7 holes with a 1-shot lead over Annika Sorenstam. Dan Hicks with Johnny Miller. Welcome to the final round of the most prestigious championship in women's golf. And it was just last week in the U.S. Senior Open, Johnny, where we had one of the great duels we've ever seen in that long playoff between Don Pooley and Tom Watson. We could be in for similar drama here today with the veteran mother of 2, Julie Inkster, going against Annika Sorenstam, who's just been a machine this year, winning half of the tournament she's entered 6 times in 12 tries.
You know, you got to hand it to Julie. In the last 25 holes she played, counting yesterday, she's only hit 12 greens in regulation, and she's 2 under par for those holes. That's almost impossible because Annika's hit every green, and I think she hit 80% of them yesterday, and she's getting nothing out of her game with her putter. So the bottom line is the putting prowess and scrambling prowess of this woman right here is just off the charts right now.
Getting ready for her second at this winding, sloping par 4/8, and with this group, Jane Crafter.
And Julie Inkster hit a beautiful drive in the most perfect position you could be to approach this very difficult hole location on number 8. Only 173 yards.
Pretty good shot by Inkster. And that ball is going to creep down the slope a little closer.
That's a good shot right there. Very nice. Anytime you hit this green, you can see it's still trickling.
Yeah, anything on the surface here in regulation is good. Signature hole here at Prairie Dunes Country Club. Kind of incorporates everything that Perry Maxwell liked to do on this piece of terrain. And back over to number 7.
Sorenstam with her 3rd shot. And Roger, have to pitch this ball short of the green?
Yes, she will. She's about 15 yards short of the green, and she'll have to land it short of the green in order to get it close. If she lands it on, I'm sure it'll go well past. Good lie, just in the fringe cutter rough. Really her first hiccup at all. She's hit every driving fairway so far, 5 for 5, hit every green in regulation. But she's carried that too far.
She had any good birdie chances, Roger?
She's had a couple, John, but it's just more fairways and greens for her, just ticking it on conservatively.
And we move to the other par 5 on the golf course, the 17th. This is Raquel Carriedo with a putt for birdie. Carriedo tied the U.S. Women's Open record with a 5 under par 30 on the front 9, has since made 1 bogey on the back, and is 4 under par for her round. Plays on the European Ladies Tour. So a chance for the best round of the championship for her as we move back to the 7th. See Inkster with the 1-stroke lead over Sorenstam. Shani Wag just made birdie at 7, is now within 3. And Jill McGill, who is on the 7th green, has a putt for an eagle and a chance to get to even par. And it looks like McGill will putt first, Roger.
She will, and a very makeable putt for eagle it is. Not a lot of break in this putt, Gary. Should go just a little bit to her left in the area of the cup, but not much.
Not overly fast from here, Roger.
It's slightly downhill, but I don't think it's anything to be too frightened of. I think she can take a pretty good run at this.
See her scorecard off to the shaky start, as Roger Maltby alluded to, bogeying the first 2. Mentioned this 7th hole has been the easiest hole on the golf course. There have been 6 eagles recorded here throughout the championship. Brandy Burton made one earlier today.
Oh, well, it's the first time that McGill has played in the final group in any tournament. Annika Sorenstam has been there many times before, but this is a different kind of championship, and controlling her emotions in this championship is key for her.
That's what makes it so tough in these championships. There's so much, you know, the golf course is so much tougher, great field, and the crowds are great. And, you know, you think about the trophy and you think, you know, what would it mean to win the Open? So it is really a mental thing when you come into a major. But this year I'm not trying to think about that. I'm just trying to hit the shot that I need to and focus on what I can handle, which is the golf, which is what I can control.
Yeah, I feel like she's very patient. She just does her thing. She keeps the ball in play off the tee, plays smart iron shots, and I think she just feels like if she plays her own game, she's better than everybody else, which she is. And she's not putting the hammer down, but this is a very important putt here, Gary Koch and Roger Maltbie. The 7th hole is really just like a 4-par.
Well, I agree with you, John, and she just got a good look at the scoreboard. I caught her staring at that, so it's the first time she's known what Julie's done up ahead.
Oh, good answer. So Sorenstam to 3 under par. Now tied with Inkster.
Keep plugging away at him. Keep plugging away.
Her first 1 putt of the day. And we move ahead to the 399-yard par 4 9th. Michelle Redmond getting ready for her second shot.
Put a little too much water on her handkerchief there. It was dripping down her shirt.
Well, players doing everything they can to combat this heat, Johnny. I think it's as warm today as it's been any day of this championship. Yesterday, Michelle Redmond had quite a lot of fun here at the 9th. This was her second shot, a 5-iron from 155 yards.
Back there. Go, 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 go.
She's yelling for it to go.
Golf shot right there.
And it does. Right in the hole. Said later it was the most excited she had ever been in golf. The crowd reaction sent chills up and down her spine. And our second shot live today. I'm sure she'll be disappointed with that one, Dan.
She has that same knee bend through the fall through as Leonard Thompson on the senior tour. Very unusual knee action. Very similar.
Over to 8.
And Julie Inkster. Search of another Open title, but if you look at her final round average in the last 4 of these championships, it has been up there.
Boy, that first round is cooking, huh?
Well, she had that score of 16 under, which broke the Women's Open record by 6 when she won back in '99 at Old Waverly.
It's a good course, but I think they just had too high a par on it.
By the way, Shani Waugh has just made bogey here, so after her birdie at the 7th, Waugh's back to +1 and 4 behind Inkster, who has a chance at another birdie here.
Dan, this putt of Julie's is very makeable. She's in a perfect position to have a good run at this. Be uphill slightly, and as Shani Waugh's ball went quite a bit left at the hole, I think she got a very good read because their balls touched, and Julie had to replace her ball.
Looking way out in here.
Another Prairie Dunes bug bugging her.
Yeah, there's a lot of creatures out here in this brush flying around,
Plus
Jane.
you have those cottonwood seeds that are cruising by.
Yeah.
She's going to regather herself, go through a routine all over again.
She's on fire with this club, huh?
Oh, she is. She's pumping herself up. She says she was wearing herself out. She better not get too excited.
Come on, come on!
Yeah, that was right in the middle of the cup.
There's no doubt Inkster is much more in the groove today, especially when she's able to set herself up after some good irons, give herself a chance at some birdies realistically. And back on the tee, Sorenstam at this par 4.
Going with the 3 metal off the tee. You just want to keep it shorter. There's a big hump in this fairway, and you always took a bad hop off that sprinkler.
Sorenstam there on the first cut at Prairie Dunes Country Club, 57th U.S. Women's Open. Tie for the lead at the top. Check in with Spain's Raquel Carriedo, 30 years old, leading money winner on the European Tour last year. And again, a look at that 30, the lowest score, tied it 9 holes in the Women's Open, just the 3rd recorded, along with Pam Wright and Julie Inkster, and Carriedo here at the 18th, I guess, with a chance for the round of the championship.
Oh man, she's left herself in a ridiculous spot. Wait until you see this. There's a big round mound in the about right where the caddy is right now, and it's got a crazy break. Actually, she pulled it, she could miss it way left, and it'll shoot way right off this mound.
Looking for a 2-putt for a round of 66.
Trying to show you the whole location. Is hard to see there. I think everybody is struggling to see that. But there's a big mound. She's going to break right, big time to the right.
She only had a wedge in, and she knew immediately when she struck it, it was too much.
What a putt.
What a putt. That was nearly a 65.
Was that read perfectly? About a 5-6 foot break.
So the round of the championship by Raquel Carriedo, helped by that record-tying front side of 30. And she joins Pamela Wright back in '94 and Julie Inkster, who turned in that 30 at Pumpkin Ridge back in '97. Great round by Carriedo as we go back over to the 8th and look at that sloping fairway. Jill McGill second.
It's one of the hardest second shots in all of golf.
It's from 168. It's right at the flagstick. If the yardage is correct.
Beauty. Beautiful shot. McGill with a chance to get it back to even after that birdie at the 7th. 17.
This a moment ago, the 3rd shot of Hall of Fame member Beth Daniel here at the par 5. Hole location that is accessible today. We're seeing some good shots. Beth would go on to make that putt for birdie and move to 7 over for the championship as we go to 8.
Look at this stance by Sorenstam.
Ball a little bit below her feet from 167 yards. Got an 8-iron.
Did you see the flagstick?
Yes, you can see the flagstick, John.
Barely, huh? Came out of it, Roger. First green missed.
See the wind beginning to whip a little bit more here at Prairie Dunes. Pretty calm day yesterday.
This is a very easy hole location compared to some on this green. The back hole location is really hard because it brings the stuff behind the green really into play.
To 14, the short par 4 a moment ago. Seri Pak for birdie. Just made the cut at this championship, and along with Kari Webb was considered to be one of the favorites before this championship began.
Hey.
That one cruises right in.
Those wild pants there, that's quite the color.
Wow.
But Kari Webb missed the cut, shot an opening round of 79 to match her highest total ever on the LPGA Tour. Pak shot a 68 yesterday to come back a little bit and was helped by that birdie at 14 to get back to +6.
And we move back to the 9th in the group ahead. Michelle Redmond 2-putted for her par to remain at 6 over for the championship.
This doesn't look like a very good lie.
It does not. Jane Crafter, you're down there.
No, it's not pretty. It's very, very deep in this, as the USGA like to say, healthy primary rough. I'd say it's very, very thick ryegrass, and Shaney's got her 9-wood out trying to just advance it and trundle it up there as far as she can, but she's going to have to use all her strength to get this out moving.
How's her game been today?
She's hit the ball very well, Johnny. I've been very impressed. She's got quite a low ball flight, a lot different than Julie's, which is much, higher. But she's played very steadily. She's playing well.
Bogeyed the 8th, huh?
Yeah, she did. She drove it in the rough.
Oh man, what was that?
Yeah, well, that was exactly what I expected. I think maybe even a sand wedge would have been hard to get out of that lie.
She looked like she really looked up with her head there.
Well, looking down on today's golf action is the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2. Snoopy 2 and Snoopy 1 travel some 60,000 miles a year across the United States to cover sporting events and television specials. Look for the Blimps to team up with NBC at future events later this year. As we go back to 8.
3rd of the par 4 for Sorenstam, Raj.
Well, it has a very grassy lie in the rough and a difficult pitch here. He's going to have to land this ball on the fringe, I think, to get it close. And if she hits it a little bit too far right, it's going to kick right. And a little bit too far left, it may bound left. There's coming right across the little knob in the front of the green. Very well done.
Got 4 wedges, Raj. One of them works.
13.
Birdie putt for Laura Diaz, who was so much a part of the story after the first 2 rounds of this championship. Had some problems yesterday, shooting 77.
Playing well today, huh?
Yes, she is, John. Playing nicely, 1 under par. She's made 2 birdies and 1 bogey.
Played in that final group yesterday, Gary.
Over at 9, that is Shani Wa's 3rd.
And that was just a little further than Inkster. She had about 137 yards. Coming up a bit short, and now it's rolling back off the green.
Julie Inkster has struggled here at the 9th. Bogey, bogey, bogey in each of her first 3 rounds.
Well, Gary, she's driven the ball perfectly here. 134 yards to the front left hole location. I would think for Julie only a 9-iron here.
And a very accessible hole location. You've got the wind moving from the player's right. They can take it toward the center of the green. You've got the slope working toward the hole location as well.
She started it well right at the hole.
Now she has struggled with her iron shots all week long. She has now hit just 5 of the first 9 greens, but she's getting it done as we go back to 8.
Jill McGill has a chance for her 2nd straight birdie to get within 3.
8 to 9 footer should move just a little bit to her right.
Hit it!
Hit it, man. Hit it.
That was a chance to erase those 2 opening bogeys. McGill remains at +1 in her 7th year on the LPGA Tour, has never won, despite being the women's amateur champion back in 1993. Let's go down to Kay Cockrell.
I'm here with Raquel Carriedo, who's just carded to 66. Raquel, how nice did it feel to come up 18 to a very happy crowd who knew you were in the process of shooting the best score at this Open Championship?
I feel great. I think today's been the best round I've ever played in my life, and it's great to do it in the Open here. And I don't know, I've been playing well the whole week, but today especially it's been wonderful.
Well, congratulations again on an outstanding round of 66. Back to you.
Thank you, Kay. Remember, top 20 in ties earn exemptions for next year's championship at Pumpkin Ridge, and Carriedo's sitting up there very nice on the leaderboard.
It's got some left in it, doesn't it, Roger?
Yes, it does. A little better than 4 feet.
It's the kind of putt you got to make to win the Open. Didn't do much, Raj.
And she hit it too hard, John. That ball's gone by. Good 2 feet, a little better than that, 2.5 feet.
That's a quick putt. Well, let's see where she starts this. Looks like it would keep breaking, but it just had a little too much speed, like Roger said.
Saw her white shoes there. There was some speculation today that Annika might come out in the red shoes, which she displayed at the first major championship of the year, which she won. And being here in the land of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, it would have been a bold move, but Annika chose not to put, I guess, that kind of pressure on herself. To 9.
Inkster ready with her 3rd shot.
It's like a little pitching wedge, a little chip and run.
Playing right up the valley in between a couple of big knobs. She will have her work cut out for her if she's going to stay at 3 under par. Here's a good look at some of the humps and bumps in these greens. They are really an interesting feature. Back at the 8th, Annika did tap in for her bogey, drops her back to 2 under par. Inkster now has the lead by 1. Shani Wa next.
Well, Gary, Shani's got her work to do to get up and down here for a bogey. She's on the front of the green. I've got one of these big Maxwell rolls right in front of her. She's going to send the ball quickly to her right and then feed down to the hole. Very difficult to judge the speed of this putt.
Julie Inkster at age 42, trying to become the second oldest to win this championship, but still motivated at this stage of her career, even with all of her other responsibilities.
I think a lot of it is just the desire to play well. I mean, I still love the game, and I still love competing. And as long as I can keep my level of play up, you know, right now things are going, you know, my balance is good. I mean, you know, I know what I need to do with the kids, and when I'm home, I'm a mom, and when I'm out here, I'm a golfer. So that's the way I try to balance it.
And we mentioned it yesterday. There was a time in Julie's career when she was questioning whether she wanted to continue playing or not. It was missing her girls at home and being a mom. She went more than 5 years without a victory, but in the last 5 years she's won 12 times, another 3 majors, qualified for the Hall of Fame, and here on the threshold of perhaps her second Open title.
She has the talent. It's all about desire. She kept herself in good shape. She's lean and strong, hits the ball pretty darn far,
and a great competitor.
For 42 years old, her driving distance is 22nd on the tour at 257 yards, so she has the length.
Another par saver for Inkster. She's been doing it a lot this week.
That's a huge putt right there.
Especially on these greens, Johnny. Prairie Dunes provides a complete golfing test, but the distinguishing characteristic has always been Maxwell's rolls. Perry Maxwell's severely undulating greens, which have confounded plenty this week. With more, here's Gary Koch.
Thanks, Dan. The greens have been a big part of the story here at Prairie Dunes. They're small, very small by modern design standards, most averaging around 4,000 square feet. But it's really not just the size of the greens that have caused the players so many problems. There are numerous ridges, humps, bumps, and even false edges. The greens truly are the character of this course. And the 10th green certainly exhibits all of those characteristics. In Thursday's opening round, Kari Webb, beginning her bid for a 3rd straight Women's Open Championship, hit what appeared to be a very good tee shot. But the ball would trickle just a little too far and catch one of those edges and run through the green. It would lead to a bogey, and she would shoot an opening round 79. The 12th hole is a 363-yard par 4, again with a tricky green. In yesterday's 3rd round, Annika Sorenstam threw the green on her 2nd shot, misplays her pitch just slightly. The ball catches a slope and would run all the way off the green. Annika would record a bogey. In the very next group, Julie Inkster finds herself in almost the exact same position and plays a very similar shot with very similar results. The odd rolls and bounces on these beguiling greens can lead to frustration for even the best of women players. The 7th hole is a par 5 at 512 yards long. It's been the easiest hole on the course, but yesterday Dawn Coe-Jones had this 30-foot putt up and over one of Maxwell's rolls. She hits it just slightly too hard and would find herself in the back fringe, putting from farther away than she started. So the greens here at Prairie Dunes should provide the ultimate examination. The champion will need to hit accurate approach shots, have a great short game, and putt well.
Thank you, Gary. And there is Julie Inkster maintaining that 1-shot lead with that par saver at the 9th. Ready to go over to that short par 3 10th. Just 148 yards. Get to that in a moment, but we go back over to number 9. Gary?
Well, this par 4, again at 399 yards, has played to a stroke average of 4.41 throughout the championship. Annika Sorenstam getting ready for her 2nd shot. In the group ahead, Shani Waugh made a double bogey 6, drops back to 3 over par. Roger, how about the shot?
Annika's left herself 149 yards to the hole. Ball a little bit below her feet. Wind against and from the right.
Leave it alone, Wayne. Leave it alone.
Now this turning a little left.
Ooh, be careful. There's another one of those edges. Well, it at least hangs up in the intermediate cut of rough, but it'll leave an awkward little shot as we go ahead to 10.
A little tee box back there. cozy next to the clubhouse. Just 148 yards today in the whole location, Johnny, on that right side.
Can't get to it. The bottom line is the players' best shots of the day are about right here and somewhere in here. This area here is literally impossible to get to unless you happen to hit between the bunker and that fringe. So good smart shot is right in that little valley, 12, 14 feet left of the hole. Talked to the marshal there. He said nobody had got it inside of 14 feet.
Johnny, I know that Julie Inkster hits a very high trajectory shot, and that probably will help her here, but she would be insane to go at this pin at this point, don't you think?
The only chance that anybody would have is a high cut shot, and she doesn't have that shot, does she?
No.
With a hook wind?
No, she does not, Johnny.
So
I think left of the hole has got to be the play.
Yeah, her ball is going to be riding the wind the last half and turning left, so it's going to hit a big hop and roll left. So this is not her shot. So you got to think par. You look on the leaderboard that we're looking right now, and really just one person I saw made birdie, and that is Vari Mackay, and she made birdie on this hole, and that's it. Everybody else making pars, some double bogey, one double bogey.
Hear the applause at the nearby 18th green, those very close to the 10th green, and pretty good safe shot right there by Inkster.
Perfect.
Leading by 1. Didn't take her long to catch the top player in the world and pass her. Welcome back to Prairie Dunes Country Club. Inkster with a lead by 1, and to gain a little bit more perspective on how the golf course is playing, we go down to Kay Cockrell again.
Thank you. I'm here with Beth Daniel, who has just played in her 26th Open. How do you feel that Prairie Dunes has stacked up as a site for the Open Championship?
Gosh, Kay, I think it's a great test of golf. I mean, just an unbelievable test of golf. Some of those pins out there this week made it really, really tough.
How were conditions today?
I thought they were pretty similar to yesterday. I mean, good shots out of the fairway are taking like one hop of about 5 yards and stopping. You know, and that's okay. I mean, you can play golf that way. It's Friday. They got a little out of control in the afternoon with that wind. You just couldn't hold the ball on the greens. But the last 2 days, you've been able to hold them.
How about how you see things stacking up with Sorenstam and Inkster coming down the stretch?
Well, I thought that would be a good setup there. I was kind of hoping to see them both in the last group together, but Julie's playing well. She's very, very determined as an individual, and I'm sure she's going to give Annika quite a run.
What kind of things are they going to be facing on the back 9?
You know, the 10 is a tough pin. It's downwind just over that bunker. I actually cut a shot in there and stopped it, but that's going to be very tough to hold. Number 12 pin is brutal. If you do not stay right of that pin, you are off the left side of the green with a real tough chip. You know, those are probably the 2 toughest pins out there.
All right, thank you very much, Beth Daniel, for your great insight. Let's go on out to the course. Dan?
Thank you, Kay, and we go out to the 9th.
Annika Sorenstam getting ready for her 3rd shot. Roger, the lie appears to be good.
Well, it's okay. It has settled just a little bit. This is a little bit of a delicate chip. Would not normally be a hard chip with a good lie. But I think the fact that it's settled has got to be a little bit of a concern for her.
Sitting a couple of feet below the level of the green?
Not quite that much. Maybe a foot and a half. That's not badly done, but it came out a little dead.
Head to the 18th.
Donna Andrews coming off birdies at 16 and 17. This a moment ago, a bid for 3 in a row to end it. So it can be done down the stretch here at Prairie Dunes. 71 plus 1 round for Donna Andrews, who's had her close calls in this championship through the years. A tie for 2nd in 93, 3rd in 92. And back over to 10, Julie Inkster for birdie.
Well, she's got about a 30-footer here, going up and over one of Perry Maxwell's famous knolls, and to throw the ball quite a bit from her left to right, a little bit uphill. And pretty well judged there.
Well, Inkster has come charging out of the gates today, and NASCAR comes racing our way 2 o'clock Eastern time next Sunday. The Tropicana 400 Tropicana Twister 300 is Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, and then the Tropicana 400 on Sunday at 2 Eastern time. Great weekend of NASCAR racing on NBC.
Yeah, and last night Michael Waltrip won, and that was a really good finish there. Had a lot of early wrecks and things and delays, but and one big late wreck, but always exciting in NASCAR.
Out to the 9th.
Sorenstam's par putt. She is 2 under par. Julie Inkster with the one-shot lead as they head to the final 9 holes of the U.S. Women's Open.
Well, the oldest champions list has been changed on us. We were talking all day yesterday about Julie Inkster trying to become the oldest. She won it at age 38, but trying to become the second oldest because researchers recently visited Babe Zaharias' gravesite in Beaumont, Texas, and found that her actual birth date on her headstone differed than the previous records that they had. I guess the Babe fudged her age quite a bit, so we want to straighten that out right off the top as Inkster's off the tee at the par 4 11th.
And very long par 4, longest on the golf course. Most difficult hole today, a 4.5 average, just three birdies. Only 20% of the field is hitting the green in regulation. That's a big part of the hole right there, the tee shot, because there's big trouble left. There's a bunker left. You can see those tweeds, as I call them. They call it gunch here. It's basically unplayable, so Shani Waugh needs a good shot right here. And you can see her +3 in 4th place. It's a low chasing trajectory, very good in the wind. Probably why she's doing it all this week. She can just hit it low and run it down there.
32-year-old from Western Australia. Now Laura Diaz at the par 3 15th for par.
She's 1 under for the day.
And keeps it at 1 under today. Had a good start. Opened with 2 straight birdies. Just 1 bogey since in all pars. As we get back to the clubhouse at the par 3 10th. Again, just 148. That guy's got a pretty good seat up there on the clubhouse roof.
Not sure how he got up there. Must have a special pass.
McGill with the honor at the 10th.
Roger, where are you? Right? Are you anywhere near this tee?
You're not on that roof, are you, Ron?
No, I'm not. Just short and left of the tee, 148 yards. Wind helping the players, and a little bit from the right.
Quite a
Jill
hole
McGill and
location.
her caddy. Yeah, it is. Jill McGill and her caddy have been going on here for some time, deliberating about what club to hit.
Yeah, Jill doesn't look like a speedster out there.
No, there's a lot of conversation before every shot is struck, and I would venture to say she's been here about a minute and a half now at least before getting up to the ball.
So surprising that Jill McGill is in this position, especially when not only that she has not won on tour in 7 years, but has just not had a good year. 80th on the money list and has made the cut just about half the time.
Right over the bunker there.
This is an 8-iron. Turning a little left of the hole.
Too much club after all that debating and analyzing, and 1 full club too much, Roger.
I guess there's an old adage about that, huh? Think long, think wrong.
Sometimes. Try to keep it simple, huh, Roger? It is dead downwind, though. You can see Annika's stats coming up here in a second. Just really, you can see the putting. That's been the big thing. Inkster this week has had 31 1 putts and 2 0 putts, so, and no 3 putts. So the big difference, Inkster's hanging in there with the putter and around the greens, where Annika is doing it with the tee to green.
It's a pitching wedge for Annika.
Got an 8-iron by McGill too much, and a pitching wedge by Sorenstam, very safe. Oh, Roger, to the back part of the green. That might roll off. That might be exactly what Kari Webb did the first round, huh? Cards?
Looks like a repeat.
Yeah, it did. And sitting down a little bit. So she doesn't even know that. You cannot tell that that ball went off unless the gallery went, oh, which could be.
Greens and regulation so important, especially in these championships. Look at Tiger Woods, led the field at Bethpage, won, hitting it better than 73% of the time. And look at what Pooley and Watson did. First and second in the green and regulation category.
And I tell you, this one right here with the tiny little greens and all the humps and bumps, that is just phenomenal.
Just takes the stress so much off the rest of the game if you're able to get it on the surface. But Sorenstam rolling off at 10, and we go ahead to the 11th and the second for Shani Waugh. You can look at that flag, dead downwind.
And Dan, she has only 171 yards here, drilled a drive right down the middle. She's got to carry it just on the front of the green and be perfect. I think probably a 7-iron for Shani.
Huge hump in front. You got to get it over that. I don't know if she can do it. Come on.
Well, got a pretty fortunate kick.
Oh, I'll say she went right to the hump and got a hook bounce. That's like the bounce of the tournament for her.
Wow, got a birdie putt now.
She's like saying, well, I guess I should act like it was good.
She is a pleasure to talk to. Has that carefree, I guess, Aussie attitude, Crafty.
Indeed, indeed. She's a good egg, as we say. And another good egg over here is Miss Inkster. She only has 153 yards, beg your pardon, and this is just a smooth 9-iron for Julie. As I said, a long ball hitter, Johnny.
This is, quote unquote, the easiest hole location on the green. It's where the ball likes to stop. They like it.
Oh, Inkster. Beautiful shot, just about hole high in search of her 7th major championship. From high above, the par 3 10th. Final group on this championship Sunday is there. Jill McGill and Annika Sorenstam. Annika one back, just missed the green here, so playing her second.
They're going to use a fairway wood here from just off the edge of the green. This is like a roller coaster. Up, down, and breaking to the right from about 50 feet.
Yeah, nice swing on that 3-wood. Wow, Roger.
That was really wonderful right there.
Yeah, such beautiful rhythm on that stroke.
While we were away on this hole, it was McGill who played her second first. You saw her bound off the back here.
Tough little dry lie where the gallery's been stopping. And this thing's looking good, huh?
It had eyes for a deuce. Caught the edge on the right side.
Actually picked up a little speed with that lip out.
17.
Beth Bauer with this downhill putt for a birdie. Bauer currently ranks second in the LPGA's Rookie of the Year standings, but she'll pick up some ground on the leader Natalie Gulbis, who missed the cut this week.
So many good young players on the LPGA Tour, Gary.
Bauer at 22 in her rookie year on the LPGA Tour after leading the Futures Tour last year in earnings. We go to 11.
Back here at the par 4. Shani Waugh to putt first for birdie. 2 nice shots by Waugh and Inkster, Jane.
Indeed, Shani has about 8 feet here for birdie. Looks to me like it wants to go a little bit right to left. Now, beautiful stroke.
She knew she had it. Waugh moves it back to +2. Just +1 today. Again, had that stretch at 8 and 9 where she bogeyed the 8th and doubled the 9th. Meanwhile, over at the 10th, McGill has this for par to remain at +1.
Well, it's already been over the ball once and backed off. Took another look.
Just when McGill, it looked like, would get it back on track. The bogey start. First bogey since that second hole at the 10th. She's back to +2, 5 behind. And over at 11, Inkster with definite birdie possibilities for number 4, Jane.
Yes, indeed, Dan. One of the marshals just told me that everyone has thought this putt was going to go left to right, and they've all missed it left. So we'll have to see if Julie sees the correct break here.
Or if the marshal knows what he's talking about, huh?
We shall have to wait and see, Johnny. Looks like, to me, she's lining up to read it a little right to left.
This for a 2-shot lead. Beautifully stroked. Inkster moves to 4 under today. Remember, she began the day 2 behind Sorenstam. So this to stay 2 behind Sorenstam trickles it in for par at 10. But it is Julie Inkster who has grabbed a hold of this championship by the throat right now, Johnny.
Yeah, a 30-second 1 putt along with 2 0 putts. So Julie is just really maximizing her score.
Well, mark your calendars for Saturday, July 20th, as we have the American Century Celebrity Golf Championship. Always fun by the shores of Lake Tahoe. Michael Jordan will put his golf game on display out there, along with Mario Lemieux and more. That's coming your way in a couple of weeks here on NBC, Saturday, July 20th. Ought to come down and visit us there, Johnny.
I think I'll be fly fishing in Idaho.
Pretty good spot as well.
Yeah, that's hard to beat. This is a lot of fun, though. We've had a great run of major championships, and this is another good one. It's hard to believe. If somebody would have told me Julie Inkster would have a 2-shot lead, 4 under par, starting the day even at this point, I'd say, you got to be kidding me.
Beautiful hole framed by
Yeah.
those cottonwoods up there, Johnny, the 12th.
Oh, man, the opening between these cottonwoods is so darn small. You need to hit the ball if you can right in this area here, and then that leaves a nice clear opening to this green. Otherwise, these trees are very tall, and they are, if you hit it on the right side with too much club or left, it is very, very difficult. And the one thing you don't want to do here really on this is to miss it to the left or long.
And we're going to show you a little bit later on how this 12th has been a tough one. Even when you get it out there in the fairway in good shape, we've just seen all sorts of strange things happen.
Remember, we saw Gary Cook's piece earlier on what Inkster and Sorenstam did yesterday. Just butchered this hole.
It's just a short par 4, 363 yards. And here's Inkster with a 2-shot lead.
And this is a very important part of this hole, is this tee shot, and it's just a layup. Could hit driver. We saw the first day Sorenstam hit it way down there between the trees, which is almost nutty, but she's so darn accurate. But here's an iron. Play a little draw down the center. Yeah, good shot, Julie. You see a little draw. Yeah, that is premium, grade A.
Inkster finished tied for 2nd last week. Led going into the final round. Finished 3 behind. Guess who? Sorenstam. And back here at Prairie Dunes, where 22 years ago, Julie Inkster won the 1980 U.S. Women's Amateur here. Hailing from the United States, as you take a look at our leaderboard international style with the flags to the left of the names. And if Inkster's able to win this, she'd still be the only American champion since Patty Sheehan back in 1994. Inkster trying to follow up the win in '99.
Still looking for the young American star. It just we've produced very fine players, but no champions, really, no great players for many years now, new ones.
And there's the 42-year-old mother of 2 who says she's just learned to balance everything. She's in a great time in her career, playing wonderful golf well into her 40s.
At 17, the 3rd shot for Sairi Pak. Hole location accessible here today at 17 for the first time this week. The hole is playing under par. And Pak will have a nice birdie chance to get to 2 under for her round. We go to 11.
2nd for Sorenstam, Raj.
198 yards left to the hole, straight downwind. Ball a little bit below her feet here. This is 7-iron.
Hit right on top of that mound very nicely. Now, Roger, perfect distance control.
Beautiful shot.
Very makeable. I think she must have hit a 3-wood off the tee, Roger.
She did hit 3-wood.
Ahead to the 12th.
And Julie Inkster from the exact middle of the fairway got a perfect look at this hole location, which is back left today. Downwind, 157 yards. Just wants to land it on the front. I think she has a 9-iron.
No divot, a little
No,
thin.
she came off that one again, Johnny. Pretty good miss, though.
Yeah, it's a very good spot to hit it a little bit one groove low. She knows how to do that, doesn't she? She just manages her game awfully well, and their putter makes up for any little mistakes.
Back to 11 and McGill.
187 to the hole, and big conversation with the caddy again as to club selection and wind direction.
Caddy Adam Hayes, very much an integral part of her game. Lining her up. Watch him. He'll get her right on the money and then bail out before she takes it back.
This is a 6-iron.
Got a little down move into her swing, as you can see on the downswing.
Just a little left here.
Yeah, she did the apple bob a little bit over the top there.
Up ahead to 14, Laura Davies for birdie. Shot a 68 yesterday and rolls that one in to get back to +7 for the championship, +1 today. 38-year-old Laura Davies, who won an Open back in 1987. Over 12.
Oh boy, did it get over that tree?
Waugh.
Yeah, that tree was awfully high for her. She hits the ball low, and that tree and her don't mix too well. Hit the tree and dropped down about 20 yards short of the green, and about a 40-yard chip shot. Sort of right up the throat, though. She should be able to get a good par chance after a decent chip.
This has to be a welcome sight for Inkster, this 12th green today. She'd failed to hit it in regulation all week long. And over to 14, Karin Koch.
Got it right where you want it, right up the hill here underneath the hole. So she should make this with a good putt.
This is a birdie attempt.
Yeah, for some reason she thought it was going to break more, but it's just a right edge putt, and that's just like the easiest putt in golf for a right-hander.
Koch having a good year, 10th on the money list. Finished tied for 2nd last week in Atlantic City. Behind Annika Sorenstam, trying to follow up that win with her 3rd Open title. She's 2 back. Back at Prairie Dunes and the 12th green, where Juli Inkster has a birdie chance. She has not made a bogey today. 4 birdies, again 4 under today.
And Dan, she has putted beautifully today. Obviously putted well all week, as we've been saying, but this putt's about 20 feet. Johnny, looks to me like it's going to want to go to the right off this little knoll that's in the middle of the green.
Well, she's shaking her head. On the top of this green, there's no apparent fall line. I guess you've noticed that on Jane. It's sort of one of those vague type of breaks, and you got all those little tiny rolls that are here and there, and then you got to figure out what exactly does this do.
Yeah, the first half of the putt, I believe, has to go to the right, and then it looks fairly flat up around the hole.
Yeah, you can see there's a little mound right in here, and it's kicking it this way, so then at the hole it wants to fall the other way, I would think. That's sort of what you do when you don't have a clear feeling of what a putt's going to do. It's hard to really make a good stroke, don't you think, Jane?
Back to the 11th, and McGill trying to hang on here for par.
And this just about 12, 13 feet. Putting uphill slightly after on a very well played chip.
Oh, nice putt by McGill. Avoids back-to-back bogeys. Remains at +2. 6 back. Well, we have talked about this incredible season by Annika Sorenstam, the 6 wins and 12 starts, and it got us thinking about the greatest LPGA Tour seasons ever. Here's a list of the greatest since 1970, that rookie year by Nancy Lopez when she won 5 straight, total of 9, the 1 major, and then you've got Annika down there last year with the 8 wins, already 6, just about coming up on the halfway point of this season. And who knows, with the way she's playing, already with 1 major championship, she could threaten perhaps the greatest of all time, the best ever, that 13 by Mickey Wright back in 1963. So Annika Sorenstam, with the way she's playing, capable of reaching double-digit wins in one season, certainly.
And her scoring average of 68.74 this season is on pace to be the lowest in PGA Tour history, which is phenomenal.
Just to get within one.
Everybody's making putts here, Roger, but that's left, isn't it? Oh, is it going to hang in there? Oh, man. It's probably a little misread. She had a great putt just outside left edge and did nothing.
Over at the 12th, Inkster has this left for par to protect that 2-shot lead. So a better result at the 12th for Inkster today, remains at 4 under. Not happy with the iron shot coming in or with the birdie attempt, but nevertheless doesn't lose a shot.
Good par.
17.
Se-Ri Pak's birdie putt down the hill. Turning a little to her left. Yes, so Pak 2 under par in her round today. She tied the low round of the championship yesterday with a 68 after just making the cut at 9 over par. So great comeback for the winner of the LPGA championship just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, she's won 2 of the last 3 majors, Gary. Se-Ri Pak, one of the big 3 on tour. Well, this par 4 12 has caused some problems, and its leaders have not escaped it. Annika Sorenstam in particular, 12, 13, and 14 this week. What a stretch. +6. Annika came into this final round making 9 bogeys all week long. 6 of them occurred on this stretch of holes.
If she wants to win this thing, she's going to have to change that trend because she's 2 shots down right now.
Other 15 holes, Johnny, she's been 8 under. So let's see how she handles this stretch today.
Going with an iron. A lot of birds there. Maybe it's an omen.
Yeah, this going down the left side of the fairway. Looks like it'll hang on.
Pretty good. I think that tree line. Oh, it's rolling right now. That's good. Should be fine.
Well, even when they get it in the fairway, they've had their problems.
Later, but she was not too happy at this point, even though she doesn't show a lot of emotion.
She made bogey, so now she's back in that fairway again, and we'll see how Sorenstam handles it today on Championship Sunday, the 57th U.S. Women's Open. Sorenstam led by 2, trails by 2 now. Sorenstam second at the 12th.
162. Don't go long, Annika.
She's got a 9 iron, John. This well right of the hole.
Well, it's on.
But it's not in by any stretch, especially with the examples we gave you earlier of how difficult the 12th has been for Sorenstam.
I tell you though, she laid it back awfully far. I think just too far back.
Well, 2 amateurs made the cut, played the weekend here. It included 16-year-old Ari Wanglukiet, youngest in the field. She shot 73 today to finish at +14. So earlier the battle was on for low amateur between Ari and Angela German, 22-year-old who just finished her senior year at Georgia. And when that par putt fell on 18, that was around a 74 for German, and she ties Wanglukiet for low amateur.
That's a good plan.
Back to 13. Shani Waugh ready. Jane?
Shani has 150 yards here at his front hole location. Really no wind at all to speak of. Oh, she got bugged by another bug. I would think probably just a comfortable 7-iron. The wind has really dropped out here right now.
She catch all that?
A little heavy, but it's looking pretty good. No, she hit it pretty well.
It will roll toward the back of the green, and we'll leave a putt down between two big rolls in the green. So not a lot of break from there.
And Gary Julie has just bombed a drive down here, only 134 yards.
Well, this is a green light special here. I mean, this whole location is not that difficult.
Well, and especially Gary, as Julie hits the ball so high. I would think probably just a pitching wedge for her.
Just bring it in slightly from the right. There is one of the mounds to the right of the hole, about 4 paces, that will kick it toward the hole.
Sounded solid.
Oh, if it's the right distance, and it is. Julie Inkster with a pinpoint iron shot at 13. Have a chance for yet another birdie. Move up to the 17th. Laura Diaz for par. Yeah, there we go. So Diaz at even par in her final round. 6 over for the championship. And I would think a learning experience for her yesterday when she played in the final group. Young star in the making there, 26 years of age. Back to 12.
Third for McGill, Roger.
Well, on a bit of an uphill slope, about 30 yards short of this green, but we'll have to keep the ball under some tree limbs up ahead of her some 20 yards. It's going to come in on a bit of a downhill slope. It's going to be hard to hold the green with this shot. We've been informed this group is being timed. They have fallen a little bit out of position.
What happened on the first 2 shots, Roger?
Well, she put it in the right rough off the tee and then just completely, the grass swallowed up the hosel and yanked it short left.
Well, speaking of the timing situation, let's bring in David Fay to explain to us.
Well, as Raj said, this last pair is on the clock now, which means they're playing over their allotted time, 5 minutes over through 11. And when they reached the 12th tee, Shani and Julie had already cleared the 12th green. So Kendra Graham of the USGA is timing. And the way it works is a player is entitled to 40 seconds to play her stroke. And it starts when she can play without interference or distraction. Time spent in determining yardage counts as part of the time taken for playing the stroke. There are 5 situations where you get 10 additional seconds, and one would be the first to play a stroke around the putting green. And it would look that Jill shot that her 3rd shot would count, so she would get 50 seconds there.
Long putt by Annika. Across the green.
Slow down a little bit.
That's
good. Not bad. Yeah, that's good.
Very good.
But, Johnny, you get that feeling right about now that if Inkster can kind of par her way in, it's looking pretty good.
Well, that putt she has on 13 for her, that hole's about as big as a bucket, so wouldn't be surprised to see her make that. And David Fay, I know you got a little more to say, but I mean, obviously Jill McGill has been playing very slowly, not Annika, so you have to look at both of them. But
yeah, you have to look at both players, Johnny, but it seems, based on what we've seen on the telecast, Jill is the one who's playing a little slowly. But the way the timing works is one bad timing, you get a warning. The second bad timing, it's a 1-stroke penalty. Third bad timing, an additional 2-stroke penalty. And if it ever got to it, a 4th bad time would be disqualification.
Wow.
So McGill's 4th.
Slow chip there coming out of that low. But not bad at all.
13.
Just a moment ago, the birdie putt for Shani Waugh. Down the hill, turning a little to her left. Why not? Shani Waugh back to 2 over par for the championship.
And Annika's probably back there thinking, holy mackerel, that Inkster making another one?
Well, she might hear another roar in just about 20 seconds or so from now.
And potential now for a 3-shot lead.
Gary, I had a look at this putt. It doesn't look like it's going to do much. Could even go a little bit left to right. Have you seen putts from here today?
I think if anything, it may go a little to her left.
Yeah.
Yeah, just slightly. Just slightly. She got it off the hole.
Pretty straight putt, huh?
It was. So Julie lets an opportunity go by, but still maintains the 2-stroke lead. Up to 18.
And this is what awaits the final groups. A moment ago, Se-Ri Pak second.
Looks like just a nice full wedge. You hear the beautiful sound she makes at impact, just dead flush, middle of the face. You just can't hit it any better than that.
So Pak for her 3rd birdie in the last 5 holes to finish it up.
Watch this putt. This could be like a winning putt in a little bit. Throws it out to the left. Tries to flatten out. This is just outside the hole. Who knows? Maybe that's the putt Inkster is going to have to make to win this thing.
And a 98 champion with a 68 today.
Everybody stand, please.
And back at 13, the 387-yard par 4. Annika Sorenstam on the tee. Dogleg left, awkward angle for the players here. Fairway runs at a diagonal. Bunker on the left-hand side, 3 bunkers up the right.
Most dangerous tee shot on the course?
I would say so, John. Anything left is not good, and I've seen a number of players bail right and have problems.
Like unplayable problems.
How's that, Roger?
This ball turning at the left fairway bunker.
Oh, carries over it and gets a great bounce out into the fairway. Big tee shot there. Up to 14.
Just a short par 4. Players cutting the edge of that corner on the left side, Johnny, as Inkster steps in.
342 yards. You don't have to hit a driver here, but I can't tell for sure if this is a driver. I would imagine it is. It's teed up pretty high. Sets up perfectly for her draw over the corner, blind. It is a driver. She did hit it in the left rough yesterday. It was only leader really to make birdie. So
she got a good lie over there in that left rough. This one travels through, and that will check on that lie. But it is a very short par 4, so just a short distance from the green for Inkster, looking for open win number 2. A few moments ago, this was the second shot by Michelle Redman. Short par 4 14th. Earlier we showed you what she did yesterday at the 9th, holding it out from 155 with a 5-iron, and from much shorter range at 14. Flirts with another eagle 2, 17.
Vari Mackay's 4th shot a moment ago from behind the 17th green. The native of Scotland. Oh! Pitches it right in, moves her to 6 over for the championship, even par today. And immediately after Vari Mackay, it was Lisa Neumann, former winner of the Women's Open, putting down the hill, turning a little left. Why not?
Easy golf course, Gary.
Yeah, they're starting to fall. We go to 13, Joe McGill's 2nd shot.
6 iron for 159 yards. This ball going to the center, green a little left of the hole, turning more. Okay.
Well, the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 is teamed up with NBC Sports to provide you with the bird's eye views of the 2002 U.S. Women's Open. State-of-the-art camera records all the aerial shots. The camera weighs some 250 pounds and is capable of tracking a golf ball from an altitude of some 1,200 feet. As we get ready for Sorenstam's 2nd.
This from 144 yards. This ball just left of the hole.
And Roger a little bit deep, but not a tough putt from there. Not a lot of break. Up to 14.
And Inkster looks like she's got a decent line, a good angle here, Johnny.
Great angle right here. Tell us about this, Jane. You can see here 59 yards. Like we said, she made birdie from a similar lie on the other side of the fairway yesterday. She probably has a good imprint in her mind that this hole is treating her kindly. Hook wind. It's all about distance control here when you're interpreting this yardage. It's hard to get the right distance. She got a little bit of a jumper.
She nestles up against that collar.
A little bit opportunity thrown away just a little bit right there. Not a bad shot, but definitely not good.
And behind her, this is one of those holes that Sorenstam will be thinking, birdie, you can bet for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Se Ri Pak had another good round today. She's with Kay Cockrell.
She sure did. 1998 U.S. Open champion. Se Ri, you just made the cut on the number. Then you played tremendous golf on the weekend. How proud of you are you of your play this weekend? What did you say to yourself to play so well?
Well, I just, all day first and last round, there's not much difference. I just do my best. The first 2 rounds, I got really strong in my putting. I mean, I got such a great swing. I feels great, and the drive is perfect. I didn't miss much green and putting. I mean, and then fairway, and then I missed a lot of putting, and then just had never a chance. And then I missed the cut, and then I think, okay, I gotta go home and pack. Then they told me I have to play by myself. I just made a cut, and then, hey, I mean, let's make the cut, just do my best on the weekend. Still have 2 days left, and then just go out there, just do my best, play well as I can, and then suddenly I got great such 2 days.
You won the LPGA championship earlier, the British at the end of last year. How confident were you coming into this championship?
I was really, really good. I feels like perfect, and never ever feels like this way. I mean, I swing, my driver is perfect now, and my iron swing is solid for a couple of weeks. So I thought it was perfect. I have a great, chance. But you know what? Just the U.S. Open always kind of hard. So just really have a fun today.
All right. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Kay. The Big Three, which includes Se Ri Pak, they have combined to win the last 6 major championships. You can see Se Ri winning the last 2 out of 3. Second in greens and regulation, Se Ri Pak is. Second worst in putting. So
great finish, though, 68-68.
From a tie for 58th after 36 holes into a tie for 6th after those pair of 68s. Now Inkster.
That's a quick one down the hill. The fringe in the back. I don't think it'll bother her too much. Greg Johnson, her caddy, lined her up, and it is a very conservative putt, but very smart. She's in a position right now. If she of course parred the last hole and this hole, she keeps parring in at 4 under with a 2-shot lead. Annika, the chances of her catching Julie are probably 1 in 5. So pars are great right now.
Sorenstam's got to get that par at 13. Got to be thinking birdie at 14. 15's a tough par 3.
Yes, pars are very good right now when you're 4 under, 2-shot lead.
We'll see how it all unfolds, and we'll remind you of the 102nd U.S. Amateur Championship, a title that Julie Inkster won on the women's side 3 consecutive years, beginning back here at Prairie Dunes 22 years ago. It's a great championship. All the top amateur golfers will be there. Of course, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods have all won it. Great championship. Fun to cover. Begins Saturday, August 24th, our coverage on NBC, and back out to 13.
Sorenstam's birdie putt.
From about 25 feet, putting downhill ever so slightly.
Jill McGill putted before and made a par. This has got a chance if it's hit firmly enough. So Sorenstam will have yet another par. And John, the combination of not having a very hot putter and not hitting her iron shots close enough.
She seems so patient, even though she's 2 shots behind.
It'll be interesting to watch. She's 2 back. Julie Inkster playing nicely at the U.S. Women's Open. Stay with us.
Mickelson for birdie.
It's a fast putt. It's looking good.
Right up this decibel level.
For 16, Garcia now for birdie.
Had to back away with that Mickelson roar. This one going to turn a little left.
Yes! Oh, man, they're going in from everywhere.
He's waving to Phil Mickelson up on 17.
Tiger Woods halfway to the slam and his second U.S. Open championship. That is in the hole. Cooley puts huge pressure on the shoulders of Watson. Misses, and Cooley is the champ.
Nobody deserves to lose, that's for sure.
And Watson's in! And this time it's Don Cooley who wins the duel. He's held off the legend, and Cooley wins the 23rd U.S. Senior Open Championship. Julie Inkster hoping for great stuff here.
Taking a couple deep breaths here and trying to group her thoughts together. And
it's been a wait on the tee again at 15, a long and demanding par 3, 196 yards, so she's going to have to stare down at that green surface up the hill a little longer.
Well, I'm sure she's thinking par, 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 par. But you just got to hit good shots. And she's the kind of player that can elevate her game, even if she's struggling. When she needs pressure shots, she seems to be the kind that can make it happen, and that's a great quality.
Well, such a competitor, Johnny. She grew up with 2 older brothers. I asked her where she got that competitive desire. She said, yeah, growing up with the 2 older brothers, but her father, Jack, was a professional baseball player in the Reds farm system. He got to AAA, and he was a competitor. So Julie said, I didn't have much choice. I had to get after things. And she loved sports, avid sports fan, huge fan of her Giants baseball team, season ticket holder there, and hockey with the Sharks. She can't get enough of sports.
You can see her thoughts are quite deep right there.
Back over at that 14th, Roger.
Monica will be first to play, 83 yards to the hole cut in the front left. We've been informed this group now off the clock, back in position.
A monstrous shot for her. She needs to take it and make birdie here.
This looks good if it'll spin.
She's going to have a chance.
Come on, right there, right there.
Sorenstam, who admitted in past Open championships that she pressed it a little bit, tried a little bit too hard, wanted it so bad. And Johnny, you mentioned earlier, it doesn't seem to be pressing it too much, even though she trails by 2. And over at 15, with that wind pretty much dead in the flagstick, they go through that chute of trees on this long par 3.
Yeah, it's a beautifully framed shot. Look at this. I mean, it just looked like meant to be. Not the easiest looking hole location. The only thing good is that the wind is coming left to right, and if you play the center of the green, it'll work the ball a little that direction.
Well, the wind is freshening here. Oh, and she's hit it dead left.
And that has left herself a very she'll get
some
relief
relief
from
there.
that, but that's not bad grass there actually, though, come to think of it. After her drop, it should be a nice semi-dry rough with a lot of green to work with. So she's been in those positions all week and gotten it up and in. But
well, we mentioned that Julie Inkster won her first of 3 straight amateur championships here at Prairie Dunes, so it's somewhat poetic that her career has a chance to come full circle here in Hutchinson.
I'm very humble in what I've accomplished. I mean, I look at, 1980, I come here and win the U.S. Amateur out of the blue, and 22 years later, I'm back, and I've made it to the Hall of Fame. I have 2 great kids, a great husband, and if someone were to tell me that 22 years ago, I would I said, you know, you're dreaming. But you know, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's a great feeling to you know, I work hard at what I do, but to have the rewards, it's been a great career.
Well, Julie was just married for a couple of weeks when she won that Women's Amateur Championship to Brian Inkster. The former Julie Simpson said that, and there's Brian walking outside the ropes there, encouraging his wife on. She said she almost didn't play in this amateur championship. They'd just taken their honeymoon. She said, Brian drove me to Vancouver. It was a good chance that I wasn't going to come, but at the last minute she decided to make a go of it. And of course, with that historic 3 straight amateur championships and then on to what she's accomplished in her career.
Very good example for all the young women on the tour. Really, she's the balancing act of children and marriage and really great play. It's a wonderful balancing act. It's not easy to do.
If she wins, she would be the first woman to win an Open and an Amateur on the same golf course. Only one man has done that. Guess who? Jack. Yeah. Pebble Beach. Yeah. 61 Amateur and then the Open stage there in 72. And David Fay, what about the relief here for Inkster?
Well, she's getting relief from that plastic structure that protects the cables. Even though it's temporary, it's treated for this championship as a permanent immovable obstruction, which means that she'll have to drop within 1 club length of the spot, which is nearest to the ball, not nearer the hole, avoids interference from the obstruction. And we'll watch the dropping to see if it will roll more than 2 club lengths. If it does, then we'll talk more about
further
it.
if you're feeling it. But
Now you get 1 club length in here.
we can get it down into
Now
here.
you can use any.
She can pick up those leaves, David. She can pick up those leaves prior to dropping.
That's correct.
And that's not a bad thing to do, right?
That's a good thing to do.
Wipe that ball off. Please drop it.
And that tee represents her the point in which she has that's the 1 club length margin. She has to drop within that 1 club length and can roll up to 2. But as you see now, I think she is doing a little tidy work there.
The last thing you want to do is have it roll on top of a leaf or up against a twig or something that you could have moved. So it's a good thing she's doing there.
And she's cleaning the ball, which is her right.
Well, she's been the scrambler, especially yesterday. She got it up and down 7 of 10 times. She's gotten it up and down 5 for 5 today for par.
I think it's a very good lie. I'm not sure, but it's the grass is leaning sort of towards the target. Not bad.
Get to that in a moment, but first we go across the way over to 14. And Sorenstam, this is a big birdie try, Roger.
I think this is a huge putt for Annika. This putt will move to her right from about 6-7 feet. Got to get the ball off the hole on the left-hand side.
Just goes in. We could have a tied lead.
Sorenstam has it. Whoa, that patience is paying off. She's within 1, and with Inkster off the green at 15. There she is, playing her second.
And I'm sure she knows that Annika made birdie there, Jane.
Yeah, I think so. At least her caddy sure does, but she's pretty focused on what she needs to do. She's got to land this ball on about 5 or 6 steps. It's an area she was looking at, but a lot of lumps and bumps between her and the hole. She's got her lob wedge.
Very quick going that direction, as you can see, just extremely quick, and the next one will be equally slow.
Toughest hole on the golf course today, 15. Just 2 birdies today.
I tell you what, there's a lot of reflection, introspection going on in her mind right now because of what happened in the last couple minutes, you know, with Annika making birdie.
And here is Shani Waugh and her second.
Well, Waugh has drawn a pretty good lie here in the rough just left of the green. A little bit different angle than Julie Inkster had, but equally difficult shot. Very quick, as Johnny said. Also with a lob wedge. This looks like it has a much better pace.
Beautiful shot. Wow, with a chance to remain at +2 and that third position right behind Inkster and Sorenstam. Meanwhile, back on the tee, Annika not even looking, just more interested in getting some nourishment as she gets set to play the final 4 holes.
She's saying, well, what were we hurrying up the last half hour for?
By the way, this group off the clock. We've just been informed by David Fay.
It's a good thing to eat. A banana is probably about the best thing you can eat, I think. It doesn't upset your stomach and gives you the right kind of nutrition and energy. I just think it's the perfect fuel for a player.
Well, Inkster has this for par to try and remain sole possession of the lead.
Johnny, it looks to me like this putt's going to go just a little bit left and not a huge amount of break.
Well, this green in my notes has a lot more fall on that chip shot than you see in your eye, which means if she didn't pick up on the fact that this is more uphill than it looks visually, she could leave this short.
Well, it's a good 15 feet at least.
Very few putts are made on these greens over 12 feet. Hardly ever you see a long putt. No bogeys today by Julie. Looks good.
And still none.
You gotta be kidding me. What a great up and in.
Sorenstam had a ringside seat.
And that's her 34th one putt with 2 0 putts. 34 one putts.
The putter has bailed her out time and time again as we go back earlier in this final round. Very second hole after lipping out a birdie at the first. Reads that perfectly for par at the 4th. That was to remain at 1 under. And then the chip in at the par 4 6th. And that moved Inkster to 2 under and into a tie for the lead. And on the very next hole, the par 5 7th had this for birdie. So back-to-back birdies at the time, and Inkster had taken over the lead at 3 under. And at 11, the birdie drops in to get her to 4 under. And then she was just able to save par at 15 to stay in the lead by 1. Number 1 in putting this week.
Yeah, she just has the nerves. It's a quality very few athletes have. That putt there, almost no one in the field in this circumstance would make that putt. I just, especially with Annika just making it a couple minutes before, putting the pressure on her. So that's a great quality. I guess anybody's had to deal with 2-year-olds, though. It's just all relative. Big shot here, Roger.
Well, wind blowing pretty hard now.
Left to right?
Left to right and helping, I think, John. Annika's gone over to the left side of the tee, trying to give herself a little better angle here.
And she was there banana eating, watching that 15-footer go in. Just started thinking, man, Julie. You can see a 6-iron. Well, location way over here to the right.
This shot moving just right of the hole, but well short. I don't know if she got that real solid, John. That sounded a little thin.
Yeah, it just didn't have much compression to the sound. It just was sort of a click.
To the tee at 16.
400-yard par 4. Playing back into the wind.
And Gary, Julie is such a long, accurate driver of the ball. This really sets up well for her. She's hit a lot of short irons into holes today that most of us think are pretty long. At least I certainly did.
Jane, she has hit 9 of 11 fairways so far today. got it under control today. Very well done. So Julie Inkster safely in the fairway at the long par 4 16th. Annika Sorenstam misses the green at 15, the toughest hole on the golf course today. She's moved within one, but it'll be interesting to see if she is able to get the ball up and down at 15. Well, just a moment ago, this was Julie Inkster's par putt at 15. You bet. We'll be right back.
Great crowds all week long in Hutchinson, Kansas for this USGA Championship here on NBC Sports. And Julie Inkster looking to add another USGA title. One-shot lead through 15. Sorenstam playing the 15th. Going to try to get it up and down over there at that par 3 to remain one behind. And over at 15, there is the position of Annika. Roger?
And she's drawn a very heavy lie short of this bunker. Ball sitting in there deep. I'm sure she's taking her most lofted wedge. She carries 4.
Is this doable?
John, potentially, but she'll have to hit a great shot. She'll have to just land it on the green. I don't think she plays that great big swing flop shot like some people do. That was really well done. Really well done. Landed it just on.
Under immense pressure, Roger. One back. Knows that you just can't afford to perhaps lose another one here.
That was very demonstrative for her, and that was one of those shots that she thought had a chance.
To 16.
Shani Wa's second shot.
And Gary, that was from 170 yards from the first cut.
Hops out of the bunker. You can see quite a bit of the ball, so I should be okay.
She got that one a little bit heavy.
Inkster getting ready to play on what has been the second most difficult hole on the golf course today. Just 2 birdies. Stroke average of 4.43.
Oh, Gary, she's driven it perfectly down the right-hand side here. She only has 157. Tough hole location today, right in the back left.
Yeah, on a little shelf. Anything about 3 paces right of the hole will funnel away.
That was a 7-iron. Right at it.
Oh, will it hold? It does. Beautiful shot. It was a very makeable putt. Well, just before Julie was playing here, her caddy comes in and says, all right, yeah, feel that shoulder turn. Get that shoulder back, all the way back and under. So obviously that must be a little something that she's trying to work on today.
Gary, you see her working on her game there, and coming into this final round, Johnny, the odds-on favorite was definitely Annika Sorenstam, the top player in the world, looking for her 7th win. But what Julie Inkster has done here, even without her A game, grinding out the pars yesterday and then coming up with that huge putt at 15. Rare opportunities when you're 42 years old to win this championship. It's going to be another gut check down the stretch for her here.
I'll tell you what, that putt she made on the last hole was just huge. Inkster's putt. But I'm sure Annika, knowing how smart that she is, thinking 2-shot lead, give me anything under par, 69 or 70, I'm going to win this thing every time. She is on pace right now to shoot 69, Sorenstam, and she has lost her lead because Inkster is shooting a scintillating on pace for 66. Which is fantastic. This is really good golf we're seeing here on the tough Prairie Dunes golf course.
This would be Inkster's 7th major, the most among active players. And over at 15, this is McGill for par. And she has held it together when she could have gone the other way. She's made 4 bogeys. Lone birdie at the 7th. +3 today, +3 for the championship, and currently sitting in 4th place.
Well, hopefully, Roger, she watched that pitch shot curl around the hole. Of course, it came in from this angle, and you saw it curl around the hole like this. So she should have been watching that very carefully, and that'll give you the read on this putt. You don't want to turn your back on it. So just outside right, Roger?
Yes, John, I think that's correct.
You don't want to be down 2 3 holes to play. One a lot more doable.
She's missed a lot of these kind of putts high. Did the same thing on the 8th hole. And got to be careful not to get it out too far and put too much pace on it. Man, that's a big miss there. I think that just was like a blindsided punch in boxing right there. Just, she had already counted that in. That was like, whoa.
Especially after making that beautiful pressurized second shot to give her a good chance to save the par, but instead Sorenstam with her second bogey of the day comes at a critical time at 15, and she falls again 2 back after just getting within 1 with a birdie at the previous hole. And over to 16.
Julie Inkster stalking this putt for birdie.
Oh, Gary, she's got a great chance of birdie here, right behind the hole. Looks to me like it wants to feed down a little bit right to left, but she has just been rolling the ball beautifully.
Well, it's been an interesting putt, John. I've seen a number of players from this portion of the green feel as though the ball is going to move a little more left than it actually does. Gets right toward the hole and just kind of straightens out a little bit.
She has no idea what happened to Sorenstam right on 15.
I would think not. It is quite a distance back to the 15th green from where she was.
No leaderboard here, huh?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, this one would really give her almost an insurmountable lead if she makes it.
She's got it. Oh, what a reaction from Inkster. Moves to 5 under par. Now a 3-shot lead with 2 to play.
Fighting off the emotion there, Gary.
Well, you know, you want to be excited, but at the same time, she still has a couple of holes to play. You've got to get yourself under control. Well, this putt by Inkster at 16. Another one in. Yes, and it's now a 3-shot lead. We'll be right back to Prairie Dunes. Back at the par 5 17th, 500 yards, a hole that Inkster has birdied twice in the first 3 rounds.
And Gary, no wind at all to speak of out here right now. Another bomb right down the middle. Absolutely perfect.
Wonderful tempo, huh, Gary?
John, it's amazing to watch, and some athletes are like that. The pressure gets on and they perform better. They find a way to do it. And we documented her struggles with her swing throughout the first early rounds. And she is right on the money now. Back at 16, Sorenstam's tee shot. Must get the ball in the fairway.
I want to see if she can regroup after that bogey, but she's done it.
Yep, good shot. Right side of the fairway. And they have just posted Julie Inkster's score at the home hole at 18. You hear the crowds roar. We'll be right back.
Here on this rugged and remote golf course, smack dab in the middle of the country, Annika Sorenstam had designs on a 3rd U.S. Women's Open title. Back-to-back champion at age 24. Wanted to fully appreciate a 3rd Open title in her 30s. Little off the mark today. One who has come out of the native grasses here in a big way is the 99 champion Julie Inkster, at age 38, got a chance to hold that trophy, and on this final Sunday has been nothing short of remarkable with the way she has dealt with the pressure. The putter has helped her out numerous times. Great pace on that one there, and showing the fire and the competitive energy that has been a hallmark of her career, and a chance to win another USGA championship, where she won her first 22 years ago. She got off to that great start with the birdies at 2, 6, and 7 out in 32 to announce her charge immediately, and then another one at 11, another one at 16. If she pars in, she'd shoot 65, the lowest final round ever by a champion.
It's just a sensational round here under heavy pressure against the best player in the world at age 42. What I'd like to know, I wish I knew if she knows the position she's in right now.
Well, Johnny, I think she might, because there was a scoreboard at 16, and the way she was pumped up, I have a feeling she does. She's got an iron here to lay up right now.
Her second shot on the par 5, and I think here a key is just get the ball down to a distance you're comfortable with on your third shot. You don't want to be in between clubs.
Gary, it looks to me like about a 5 iron here. She just wants to lay it down there about 70, 80 yards from the front edge.
She has 255 to the hole, so something down there about 170 yards or so.
Pretty gutsy tee shot, don't you think?
That was a very good tee shot she hit there.
I mean, she could have hit 2 iron, 2 iron.
Yeah, you certainly could have. You know it's a hole you're going to lay up on anyway. I think she's found some confidence in that driver.
Well, she'll have to hit a good shot on the next hole off the tee, and it's dangerous to the right off 18.
Let's join Roger Maltbie.
Well, we're going to have quite a wait here at 17 in the fairway. Annika Sorenstam waiting to strike her second shot. Jill McGill drove a ball to the right in the tall stuff, and the ball was found. She did play a provisional ball, but since the first ball was found, the second ball was out of play. She couldn't find any place appropriate within 2 club lengths or keeping a point between herself and the hole, so she's returning to the tee and playing her third stroke, excuse me. So we're going to have quite a little delay here at 17.
Johnny Miller, I would think that cannot be beneficial for Sorenstam. I would think you'd want to go ahead and play at 16.
No, she's had to do that all around. You know, I hate to, say it was not the greatest pairing in the world for her. It would have been, I think that Annika would have much rather played with Julie, and the pace is similar to her pace, but those things happen.
Well, while we have a chance, one more reminder about NASCAR returning to NBC for the Tropicana 400 again next Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time.
Inkster marching up the 17th fairway.
Love to know what she's been thinking the last half hour on Gary. There's a lot of great gut checks and performances. She has not made 1 3-putt the whole week, which is unbelievable. 2 0-putts, 35 1-putts, 33 2-putts. I mean, that is putting your ball on some of the toughest greens you'll ever see, huh, Gary?
Well, we talked about it earlier in the week, didn't we, Johnny? Never seen a set of greens where it seems as though anything outside of about 8 or 10 feet, you have so many putts that break 2 directions, double breaking putts. And obviously she has figured those out awfully well.
The gals are getting it up in this area here on the flat.
Yeah, this is by far the easiest hole location that we've seen here at 17 all week. You have room, you can actually throw the ball behind the hole a little bit, it'll come back. It's very flat to the left of the hole and relatively flat to the right of the hole as well.
One thing you don't want to do is hit into this bank and then
exactly
spin it off.
Come back down the low. We're going to move back to the 16th, and Annika Sorenstam will now be playing her second shot.
This from 157 yards. This is an 8-iron. And this ball is going to turn left of the green.
Uh-oh. Well, that is perhaps the worst iron shot we've seen her hit the entire week.
And Julie has just grabbed the championship away from her and just probably can't focus right now.
17, Shani Waugh, first to play.
And Gary from 88 yards uphill, no wind at all to speak of right now. Has a couple of yards before the pin is the ridge at 18. Got to carry it up there.
You good? No. Ball flies into the flag stick, but here it comes. All right, that's right. You deserve it.
That's like a trick shot, like a masse shot and pull.
Yeah. Well, actually, fortunate there was the slope in the green there, because often when they strike the flag stick, it takes all the spin off the ball. And now Julie.
From 81 yards, it's with a sand wedge. Be hoping she can duplicate that shot.
It's going to be, whoa, 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 whoa. Look at the spin, whoa.
Right down in that spot.
Yep. And Johnny, that'll go all the way off the green into the long rough.
Right in a hole, too. Man, that is a near good shot, though, huh, Gary?
Well, it's funny, Johnny. I have not seen any ball spin that much back from that position. So now she has left herself a very tough shot. I have seen balls played from down there, and virtually no one is getting the ball up and down.
If you don't hit her hard enough, will it come right back?
It certainly is a possibility.
Because if you chunk it a little bit, it'll just roll around right back down the hill,
Right.
huh?
She has to get the ball beyond where she's standing right now. If she were to leave it that short, it would come right back to her.
Gary, she does not have a very good lie. She's got a lot of grass behind the ball, and it is sitting down in a little bit of a hole. And come out with obviously no spin. Best play is to just try and hit it to the back edge of the green.
Look at the slope and the undulation in this 17th, one of the smallest greens on the golf course here, just over 3,000 square feet. Left for par. We go back to 16. Stam's third. That is not going to stop. That's going to catch the slope. So Monica will have a very lengthy putt left to try to save par. Back up at 17. Can Inkster make another one?
What's this do, Gary?
Well, not a lot of break, to be honest with you, John, from this position, kind of putting right off the very top part of that slope. Jane, do you see anything?
Well, it looks to me like it might, if anything, want to go a little bit to her right. But I don't see a huge amount here. Gosh, and the way she's going, she's got to be feeling like she's got a great chance of making this. But with Annika in trouble, she may not have to.
All in all, it was a pretty good pitch shot from down there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with it. She had to really make sure she kept that club accelerating through and not quit on it. But to leave it below the hole, that's a pretty good effort without it rolling backwards.
She read it to go a little right. It stayed pretty much right there, so Julie Inkster will record her first bogey since the 18th hole yesterday.
Golf's a crazy game. She hit 3 really super good shots on this hole.
So Inkster drops a shot. Back to 4 under par. Back at 16, Sorenstam's putt for par. Slow putt coming up and over a ridge right there, turning to the left.
She needed that one.
Yes, she did, and she gave it a good effort, Johnny.
Well, that's a really good putt.
Well, she doesn't know what Julie did ahead, guys, so she thinks she's dropped 4 shots behind.
Up to the 17th, Shani Waugh for birdie.
And after that very interesting third shot, Shani has downhill. Probably pretty straight again, Gary.
Yeah, this one I think might just eke to the right, Jane. Not a lot of break, though.
These greens are so hard to read.
Her caddy, Adam Woodward, was reading this putt totally for her.
An awfully good putt.
Just don't want to give the hole away on a lot of these, huh, Gary?
Well, especially here at this hole location at 17 today. Not a lot of movement. Rare for around here. So Shani Waugh with par 5 at 17 remains at 3 over for the championship. And you can tell this crowd firmly behind Julie Inkster, urging her on as she heads toward the 18th tee.
Inkster has recorded a couple bogeys at 18 in the previous 3 rounds. Has missed the green in regulation in every round, so still some work to be done for Inkster as we head back over to Sorenstam.
And the putt now for her bogey. Roger, about 2.5, 3 feet?
About 3 feet. Inside the hole on the left, I would think.
All right, she drops to 1 under par, playing with Sorenstam. Jill McGill recorded a triple bogey 7 here at the 16th hole, moves her to 6 over par for the championship. So Annika Sorenstam 3 behind with 2 to play.
And there is the tee, Gary, at 18, the par 4, 382 yards, elevated tee. It's proved to be a very difficult fairway to find all week.
Yeah, there's a lot of right to left tilt, and there's really heavy problems. You hit it over here, it's lost or unplayable. And yesterday, she hit the ball and ran into that rough and could not get it to the green. And so some of the memories on this hole for her are not the best. So she needs to sort of suck it up and hit a good one here, because you could make double bogey here. And of course, Shani Waugh should have made birdie on the last hole, hit a good putt, but she's going with the big club here. A little surprising.
Waugh in that 3rd position, trying to hang on ahead of Raquel Carriedo, who's just behind her at +4, and with that great round of 66 earlier.
It's going down the left side.
This has been the toughest fairway to hit. Just 60% of the players find it, and that's been the biggest problem right there. It just kind of squirts off left.
Oh, that's a good one there, though. That's down there just for a little flip wedge. That's birdie 50% of the time with this front left hole location. And Julie's got wood here. I'm pretty shocked, actually. I think it's...
Looks like a 3-wood, Johnny.
Yeah, but I mean, it's... Could have hit a couple 5-irons if she wanted, probably.
Sorenstam trails her by 3. Again, Sorenstam still has a par 5 to deal with.
She does not know that Sorenstam made bogey on 16. What kind of shot she puts on it.
That's a good swing. It's down the right side, drawing back to the center.
Man, that is a clutch shot right there. That's going to probably be on just on the downslope there, running down that hill, but a good angle to come into this left hole location.
So Julie Inkster right in the middle of the fairway at 18. Hoping to win this coveted championship for the second time. 3 clear of Sorenstam. She's pumping her fist as she heads down there. Wonderful fans here in Hutchinson on their feet, on the ground, and in the stands around the 18th, awaiting Julie Inkster's arrival here.
Well, they've been fantastic. The gallery's just been, couldn't be any better. Very supportive of everyone, not just the leaders.
And the hospitality in this small rural town just outside of Wichita, Johnny, has been tremendous. They have waited a long time for this championship, very excited about it. I can't tell you what a great time it's been staying here in Hutchinson, Kansas. And Julie Inkster ready for second shot, just 113 left.
Well, she's on a little bit of a downslope, on a little bit of a bare, kind of a dry looking lie. She should be able to nip it pretty well here.
Greg Johnston, her caddy, is giving her all the particulars and where to play it. Perfect shot would probably be about 8 feet right of the flag stick, hit just on the front edge. 1 hop bite. It is a difficult stance and downslope. Be easy to come out of this.
Sit down.
Safely aboard.
It was about 1 foot from going all the way down the hill, just like it happened on the last hole. So she almost got 2 in a row, the same thing. But she was probably juiced up a little there. Just really the adrenaline running strongly through her, and that's why she went long. But it's a good place to hit it.
Back to 17.
Annika's second shot. Just trying to lay the ball up, put it in position.
Well, Annika needs to go birdie-birdie. That put her 3 under, and Julie needs to make a mistake. Hasn't 3-putted the whole championship.
Was second at 18.
From 94 yards, just with the sand wedge.
And Waugh looking pretty good to get solo third on in regulation. Well, it has been very clear from the get-go of this final round of the championship who the fans have been pulling for. And Julie Inkster, they can identify with her, this 42-year-old mother of 2 who 10 years ago lost in a playoff to Patty Sheen in this championship. It was a heartbreaking loss for Julie, and it wasn't long after that when her game really slid, and she really had to come to grips. Do I want to play this game? If I do, I want to play it at the top level, and I still want to be able to spend some time with my kids. She's been able to balance it perfectly. Came up with that huge win at Old Waverly in runaway fashion a few years ago in '99, and in this day of the LPGA Tour with all the young hotshots, the Annika Sorenstams and the Kari Webbs and the Sayri Poks, it is a 42-year-old mother of 2 who looks like she's going to wrap up a second Open title. Her daughters, Corey, age 8, Haley, age 12, back home in Santa Cruz, California, watching this telecast, I am sure, with Julie's parents. And it's not often you get a chance to come full circle in a career like this. It all began back in 1980 right here at Prairie Dunes when Julie won the first of her 4 USGA championships, a chance to add a 5th one here where it all started 22 years ago.
It's about a 30-foot putt on Jane, and actually slightly uphill, I think.
Yes, I would agree with that, Johnny. I was thinking it's not the easiest putt to sort of have to get down in 2. It's got a big slope to go up and over, and then it should go pretty quickly over that ridge.
You know, the funny thing is about this putt is it doesn't break as much as you might think. You could make it break if you want to play it way left, but it doesn't really break a lot. And most of the players have just left it a little bit short. I think it's sort of a comfortable 2-putt, especially when you got a putter that's hotter than a firecracker.
At 17, guys, Annika Sorenstam running all the way up to the green to get a good close look at exactly where the hole location is before playing her 3rd. As we go back to 18.
And Inkster's ready.
Good pace, just barely short, just what everybody else has been doing. What a wonderful putt. How good is this performance, Dan?
It's hard to put it in perspective. just the way she reinvented herself, just rededicated herself. And in years where most players are winding down, Inkster playing some of the best golf of her career. 17.
Third shot for Annika Sorenstam.
Lob wedge from 70 yards.
Needs to hole it out.
Well, should spin back. Beautifully judged for distance. She'll have a very makeable putt for birdie.
Well, even if she gets it to 2 under, Gary, it's going to take a miraculous shot on 18 to somehow tie it up. As you look at Shani Waugh, is for birdie.
Just about 20 feet. It's a little uphill right to left.
And when we've all been waiting for the next great American player, this has been a pretty good coming out party for 32-year-old Shani Waugh from Western Australia. Third is worth better than $206,000. Her best year ever, $225,000. So great championship for the engaging Aussie. 72 on this Sunday.
And I'm sure she learned a lot just by watching the performance by Julie Inkster, who has this little tap in for a phenomenal 66. Going against the best player in the world. Last day of U.S. Women's Open Championship. Tough course. Got the job done.
So it's looking very good that Inkster will win a second Open title. Back at Old Waverly, I never forget coming down the fairway when she had the big lead. She said, "Mama's gonna bring home a trophy, girls. It's a big one." And Mom has a chance to bring that big one home again. It's gonna take a miraculous stretch run down here for Sorenstam, who's gonna have to make that birdie at 17 and hope for a hole-out eagle at 18. And there is Julie hugging her husband, Brian, a professional. What a great feeling for Inkster in front of a very appreciative crowd in Hutchinson, where it all started, Prairie Dunes Country Club. She was asked about it earlier in the week. She said, "I don't remember that. I can't remember much at all." You don't remember much when you're 22 years old, but the memories get so good later on in life, you tend to appreciate them a little more. And I got a feeling that's what Julie's doing right now. And Judy Bell, the only woman president of the USGA in its history, so instrumental in getting this championship here to Prairie Dunes Country Club. Judy, a native of nearby Wichita, said it was a dream when this championship finally made it here to Hutchinson. And you can see how emotional she is. It's been a tough year for Judy Bell, who's been fighting cancer and got the permission from her doctors to stop chemotherapy this week just to be here to see this championship unfold in person. What a life in this sport that woman has led.
Back at the 17th, Jill McGill with this putt for a bogey 6. So that will be a double bogey 7 and drop McGill to 8 over par. She's now 7 over par on the final 9 holes. Roger, you've been with Annika the entire back 9. It just seems as though perhaps her rhythm changed when the timing occurred or something, but hasn't been the same as she was the front 9.
I agree. I don't know if the timing and having to adjust the pace of play affected her or not, but she clearly has not hit the kind of iron shots that we are used to seeing her hit. Now, the other possibility is maybe the play of Julie Inkster up ahead of her had something to do with that. We won't know. Maybe we'll find out later, but this is not the kind of golf I really kind of expected her to play coming down the stretch.
All right, so the birdie at 17 moves her to 2 under par. One last ditch effort at 18.
She'll need a hole out eagle.
It's easy to forget that she's shooting even par for the round, and with a 2-shot lead, that should have done it. You know, she just ran up against a buzzsaw.
Especially with the way, Johnny, that Inkster had been struggling with the irons. She just got up to a great start. It was a case of Inkster birdieing 3 of the first 7 holes and taking that lead for the first time with that birdie at the 7th. Annika matched it and tied her up again, but while Sorenstam bogeyed the 8th, Inkster kept it solid, sank a number of key putts.
Oh, I mean, on the putting, Inkster, you know, had 105 putts for the championship. Now, 144 putts would be quote unquote all 2 putts. She was 39 under putts, 2 putts, 39 under 2 putts.
66 by Inkster, ties the best ever finish by a champion through the years of this U.S. Women's Open.
Right, see the big green box behind? Right as the guy stand on the steps.
But again, not quite official. Still the last group on the golf course. Sorenstam's got to get it in the fairway and hope for the magical hole out.
Now she's going to go with the big black bomber there.
She got the driver out, that's for sure.
Yeah, the stealth fighter here, driver.
It's up there. We just can't field here with those trees there.
Okay.
Driving 25 yards longer than the average player in the field per hole with this club.
Well, this ball just drilled right down the center of the fairway. Guess it depends on the bounce.
Man, I haven't seen it. Everybody's sort of saying, you gotta be kidding. We haven't seen a ball go that far, and it actually ended up in a very, very poor spot. Great shot, bad result. A lot like Julie Inkster's 3rd shot at 17.
And while Inkster appears ready to continue to rack up the majors, professional major number 7, Annika, yes, 37 LPGA wins, but with all those wins and how dominant she's been, a little short in the major department, Johnny, with just 4 majors so far. Not to take anything away from the kind of player she is, but at this time of her career, it's those majors she's been after and just hasn't been able to get as many as she would like, even though she won the season's first major.
She had a little Greg Norman luck today, I gotta tell you.
McGill has struggled down the stretch.
All going down the right side.
A good bounce. Not bad at all. A good angle.
So just 1 shot from now, we'll find out if Inkster wins the championship. Looking very good. There is Julie Inkster waiting in the scoring area for the official outcome. Sorenstam still with a chance, but what a feeling that must be, Johnny, to wrap up the most prestigious title in your sport at age 42, and to do it with Annika Sorenstam holding a 2-shot lead to begin the day. Again, she was the odds-on favorite to win this championship, winning 6 times in 12 tries this year. McGill will play first at 18. Former amateur champion McGill earning a spot in this final pairing with Sorenstam. Back in '93 won the women's amateur championship, but even then said that I didn't really expect to have a full life on the LPGA tour, and just a couple of years ago kind of rededicated herself after saying, you know, I was kind of floundering around on this tour for a while, but this has been a new experience for her. +8 for the championship after beginning at even.
She's coming off a triple bogey and a double bogey. Come on, Jill, hit a good one to finish this up right.
It's from 125 yards. Pretty good looking shot.
Really nice shot, Roger. And Annika's going to take a little run up the golf course to see what has to be done. She knows what she has to do here.
Hey, Roger, is this lie as skanky as it looks?
It's not very nice, John. Only 54 yards left of the hole, but it's sitting down in there. It's one she's going to have to kind of trundle along the ground, you know, land short of the green, hope it gets a hop.
This drive only went 328 yards downhill, so that's a pretty good poke, huh?
Yeah, she drove the ball beautifully today, and most every day, really. And every tee shot looked just like the one before it.
There's Inkster watching on a monitor in the scoring area.
I tell you, and it's not the greatest feeling watching the shot, because you're just saying, "Oh, she's not going to knock this in, is she?"
Well, I'll take her odds.
Yeah, I'd say from this lie, I'd say it's 1,000 to 1.
Now it's official. Inkster has another championship at Prairie Dunes. 22 years later, she's the Women's Open champion for the second time.
Yeah, Haley Corey, always bringing home a trophy.
There it is again. And it's a big one, Julie.
Great this week.
So Sorenstam comes up short. 6 years after winning back-to-back Open titles. Now 23 of 39, Johnny, when leading going into the final round.
Yes, just under 60%, which is not a great figure really for her, even though she's very steely, but I think she wants it almost too badly. I really feel that. I feel like that she wants to be a historic player. She will be, but I think she wanted to be clear of anybody else as the greatest woman golfer that's ever played the game. And she still could do that, but she's letting some of these slide by, even though I said she's shooting 70. I mean, you got to put that in perspective. 2-shot lead, super tough course, Sunday, all the pressure, shoots 70, probably what she figured would take.
I think Julie's on the cell phone, going to talk to Corey and Haley here shortly, and Dad and Mom who are staying with him. She might want to take a plunge in that pool right now too.
Boy, there's nothing that'll break you up talking to your family, I'll tell you. If she doesn't shed some tears of happiness, I'll be surprised. But Roger, you're handy right there.
Well, I am, John. This one downhill and move a little bit from her right to left.
I know you wanted to be following Julie, being a Bay Area guy like myself, and see that heroic effort.
Well, I'm very happy for Julie. Obviously, I really thought Annika would probably play a great round of golf today and win, but it was Julie that made the big putts.
This actually flattens out at the hole.
How about this, Johnny? Only player in the field if she makes that last putt without a round over par, and she won't win.
Yeah, like I said, it's sort of like, you hate to use Greg Norman as almost like a, an example, but she was very unlucky not to win this thing. Very unlucky, shooting 2 under par total.
Well, if there was no Julie Inkster who just jumped out and grabbed the lead, she wouldn't have got it.
I just can't believe it. It was so much fun. Thanks. Well, it is, isn't it? It's just unbelievable.
All right, so Inkster on the phone, McGill for birdie at 18. Remember, Jill McGill was just 2 off the lead, tied with Inkster to begin the day, but drops from that tie for second into a tie for 12th. And a learning experience, playing for the first time in a final group in any tournament, much less the U.S. Women's Open, with the top player in the world. So just this left to put it in the books at Hutch.
Putt has technically no importance except for to Annika. She has a 5-shot clear. She 5-shot to clear of Waugh.
Sorenstam at age 31 will have plenty more open tries, you can bet. But let this one get away on Sunday. Not that she played poorly, as you mentioned, Johnny, but just ran into a buzzsaw in the form of Julie Inkster. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys, even 70.
You've just witnessed one of the great rounds in championship golf. Really, Julie Inkster, what a clutch performance. Just made everything she needed to make.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jules.
U.S. Open champ. Oldest U.S. Open champ. Thought I'd get that in 2 times. Thank
Well,
you very
almost,
much.
Julie.
Haley Corey. Can't wait to see you guys.
There it is, second oldest, as they had to reshuffle the list here of oldest champions. They researched it, and Babe Zaharias actually was the oldest back in '54 at 43 years old. Plus, took Julie a record 20 attempts to win her first Women's Open title. Now she's won her second in 4 years. Great week at Prairie Dunes Country Club. We'll be back with a presentation. First, take another quick look at how they finished up in the 57th Women's Open. Inkster by 2. Kelly Keeney, who was close to Inkster in '99 in Old Waverly at +7. Janice Moody made a nice week of it. And there is McGill, who fell all the way down to +8. Again, back with the presentation and more. We'll hear from the champ. Champion Julie Inkster coming out of the clubhouse throng, moments away from being introduced as the 57th U.S. Women's Open champion. What a closing round 66, Johnny.
Yeah, I
mean, you just can't say enough about this performance today.
I mean, really, the putt she made at 14 to 15 footer, and then, I mean, 15 and 16, both 15, 18-foot putts. Those were really, really clutch. So
she is clutch. Her husband, Brian, says, I don't think she's got a nerve in her body. I don't know how she does it. Keeps her focused. Big pressurized situation. She had to come up with something special today, and that is exactly
Ladies and
what she did.
gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our 2002 U.S. Women's Open champion, Julie Inkster.
And there's the trophy Mom's bringing home again.
It's a big one.
It is. Win this championship at age 38 and at 42, and after those 20 tries.
Julie, congratulations. First of all, I have to ask you, have you ever played a better round of golf under the pressure?
No, I haven't. Sometimes I just didn't know where it was coming from. And, you know, it was so inspiring. The crowds were great out there, and I was just so happy that I could come out there and put a good round on the board for them, because they've been very inspirational this week.
How about that putter of yours? Have you ever putted any better in a week of golf?
I haven't. I mean, my speed was great all week, and I made it the putts when I needed to make them. And, you know, I just hope I don't wake up for a while. It was awesome.
Well, you looked very emotional out there, very excited certain times when you made putts. Was it a battle to keep those emotions in check?
Yeah, I told Crafty was in our group. I chipped in on 6, and I made a long putt on 7. I said, I got to stop the fist putting. I'm going to run out of gas coming down the home stretch. But you know, I I don't know where it came from, but I made some great shots today, and I found my swing a little bit today, and I helped out and made it a little easier for me. And I just can't believe it.
Put it in perspective for us. To win this event for the second time at age 42, what does it mean to Julie Inkster?
I think to win it at any age is tough. 42 is just a little tougher. But you know what? I work hard at my game, and I love competing, and I have the desire to play well. And 22 years ago, I was standing here holding the U.S. Amateur Trophy, and now I'm holding the Open Trophy. So I'm going to have to buy a condo or a house here in Hutchinson, Kansas, I think.
Which leads to my next question. What is it about Prairie Dunes that fits Julie Inkster so well?
Well, the first couple of days, I really struggled with my swing, and my short game hung me. I hung in there with my short game, and the last 15 minutes on the range, I found a key that clicked, and I hit the ball a lot better today. And it's a type of golf course I play well, where even par, around even par, 1 or 2 under is going to win, and because I make a lot of pars, and today I just happened to make a few more birdies.
All right, Julie, for those of us who play, what was that little key that you found?
I just tried to make a little bigger turn back there. I think I was a little short on my turn, and got me coming from the inside a little bit more. And I'll tell you, this golf course is a lot easier to play from the short stuff than it is from that heather.
Well, you did a great job of it. Julie, congratulations.
Thanks,
from
Gary.
all of us, and I think from all of Hutchinson.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, Johnny, I know you're an honorary member here. They ought to make Julie an honorary member right now if she isn't already one.
That's a good point, but I thought at the beginning of this week, knowing the course as much as I do, that the player that would win would be someone who's very wise and someone with maybe a little extra practice rounds. And there you have it right there. She had that experience from the amateur, and I think that the rest of the field did not know this tricky golf course that requires so much knowledge and local knowledge.
Well, you heard her tell Gary that she found a key with her swing as we take a look at the highlights of this final round. And right off the bat on the second tee, after lipping out a birdie putt at the first, this was her tee shot at this short par 3.
It's a beautiful shot into this 147-yard par 3 above the hole with a very tricky slice putt. I mean, big break here, maybe 8-10 inches to the left. Perfect speed like she talked about.
Parred the third to remain at 1 under, and then had this for par at the 4th.
Another gut check putt. Puts it in there.
Parred the 5th. And this is when it really took off for Inkster.
Big breaker. Big breaker off that mound right there, trickling in there, perfect speed.
Got it at 2 under, and just like that, after grabbing a little air, getting a pat on the behind from her caddy, Greg Johnston.
And the easy 7th hole, after 3 not too good of shots, she makes up for it by holing it off the green.
And that was her 3rd birdie of the first 7 holes. She would move into the lead at 3 under, and then at the Annika Sorenstam at the 7th for birdie.
She answers Julie right there.
That got Annika back to 3 under, and then at the 8th for par, Sorenstam fell out of that tie for the lead and back to 2 under. And Inkster with another crucial par putt at the 9th. That kept her at 3 under. She was out in 32. And then at the 11th to 4 under. And her lead was 2 over Sorenstam after beginning the day, trailing Sorenstam by 2. And then at 14, when Annika really needed to get a birdie, she got it. She went to 3 under, and at that point was within 1 of Inkster, who is having her problems at the 15th, trying to get it down in par here from that tough position. You can see the emotion there from Inkster, who protected that lead. And then at 15, Annika looked like it was going to be a great up and down. This is the par putt. And that's when it began to sink in that this was going to be Julie's day. 16 for birdie.
After a big tee shot and a perfect iron shot right over the top of the flag stick. Look at the energy right there. She knew that was the one she needed.
Got her to 5 under. She had a 3-shot lead. Then 17, 3rd for Sorenstam.
She's 3 strokes behind at this point. She needs to make birdie there to get back to just 2 behind, and hits it in there stiff.
She did make the birdie, and Annika got it back to 2 under. But Inkster here with a stress-free par at 18 to wrap it up. And for a Professional major number 7 for Julie Inkster. We mentioned that 66, matching Pat Bradley and Annika Sorenstam with the best final round finish by a champion. Sorenstam, even round of 70, finishes 2 behind, and a few moments ago Roger Maltby had a chance to catch up with the top player in the world.
Thank you, Dan. Annika, you went out in the final round of the Open with a 2-shot lead. You shot par. That wins like 99% of all Opens. How do you feel?
Well, I did everything I could today. I think I played some great golf, and you know, it's a tough golf course, but you know, Julie played excellent today. I mean, she really outplayed me, so nothing I can do. I gave it all, and I'm happy about that.
Well, you hit the ball so solid, drove the ball so well, certainly today. On the backside, a couple of iron shots that got away a little bit. Did the timing, when you're out of play, when out of position in the timing, did that get you a little bit out of rhythm there?
Maybe a little bit, but I think I just made one bad swing, and that was on 16. And I told my caddy that's a tired swing. It's been a long week, a long day, and you know, I've been trying so hard for so many days, and you know, I guess you get hit one bad once in a while. So
You played very, very well, and you ran into a hot putter today. What can you do?
not much. Like I said, I gave it all, and I just want to congratulate Julie. She played excellent.
Thanks, Annika. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Roger. And while Julie Inkster was tops in putting, Annika Sorenstam, Johnny, as we look at the statistics, 61 in putting, even though she was #1 in greens in regulation. But you got to get the ball in the hole at the Open Championship, and eventually it kind of caught up to Sorenstam today, even though she played well.
Yeah, Julie only made 10 bogeys all week, which is the fewest of anybody in the field, but it's because of that putter that she's using. She's probably going to go to bed with it tonight. But her putting, just to give you an idea, she had 35 one-putts, 2 chip-ins from off the green, no 3 putts. And when you do that in a 72-hole championship on some of the toughest rolly, you talk about all these rolls out here, Maxwell rolls, that is unbelievable.
And at 42 years old, to win this championship for the 2nd time in 3 years, to add to the title she won for the first time at Old Waverly at age 38. This is kind of a wonder kind type of player here with Inkster, who says she's just at a perfect balance in her life with her 2 kids at home, and at one point thought about giving up the game. You can be sure that she's glad she kept it up. She's playing the best golf of her career right now.
She is right now, and she has great nerves. She's a tremendous example for all the players out on tour, how to balance her life, you know, family life, got a great marriage. Works hard when she has a chance in the game of golf, and she's super clutch. I mean, she's like the prototype of what you want to be, I believe.
Yeah, the poster mom of how to make it all work. It's a balancing act that Julie Inkster has had no problem juggling. So she will defend next year at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club, North Plains, Oregon, just outside of Portland. And then those are the other future sites for this great championship. And if you're in need of a ticket up there in the Great Northwest, you can call the number there, 866-503-2003. Great championship venue there at Pumpkin Ridge, where Tiger Woods, of course, won the last of his 3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships.
We've had a great run, haven't we? I mean, you had Mickelson knocking on the door and Garcia with Tiger Woods, and Tiger looking for that Grand Slam and doing what he had to do, and how surgically he took that apart. You know, after that rain delay, for him to come out and hit those 330-yard drives just like he was totally warmed up, that was so impressive. And then, of course, Tom Watson going against Don Pooley. That was, I mean, Don Pooley, that was one of the greatest performances.
We're still talking about
a Cinderella story.
Feeling good about it.
And that was the best thing for senior golf, you know, after Fuzzy Zoeller won the PGA Seniors, which was a major, and then they opened to have that happen. Great shot in the arm for senior golf, and then couldn't do any better. Not a better champion to win, and going against, of course, Annika Sorenstam, who is clearly the best woman golfer in the world. But Julie's got a little say in the majors, doesn't she?
Maybe she'll get a condo out here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Prairie Dunes has been kind to her. For the latest golf news, stats, and information, you can log on to golf.nbcsports.com. And then the 102nd U.S. Amateur Championship returns to NBC Saturday, August 24th. The world's top amateur golfers will be there. Oakland Hills teeing it up at one of the most challenging golf courses you will ever see in a very prestigious event. The most prestigious in all of amateur golf. The U.S. Amateur Championship coverage begins Saturday, August 24th, right here on NBC. And then Saturday, July 20th, NBC Sports presents the American Century Celebrity Golf Championship from the shores of Lake Tahoe. You can see all of your favorite professional athletes and celebrities showcase their golfing talents there. Michael Jordan, a part of the field there at Edgewood. That's the American Century Celebrity Golf Championship coming to NBC in a couple of weeks, Saturday, July 20th. Don't forget, coming up next Sunday, 2 Eastern, beginning with the Discover Card countdown to green, NASCAR returns to NBC for the Tropicana 400. Coming up tonight, beginning at 7, 6 Central on NBC, don't miss The Weakest Link, followed by an all-new Dateline NBC. Then it's back-to-back dramas, Law and Order, Criminal Intent, and Crime and Punishment. So for Johnny Miller, Gary Koch, Roger Maltby, Jane Crafter, and Kay Cockrell, and our entire NBC Golf crew, I'm Dan Hicks saying so long from the 57th U.S. Women's Open, where 22 years after winning her first USGA title, 42-year-old Juli Inkster holds on to a U.S. Women's Open trophy again.